September here on Brandon's World, which means football is back, and we had a wild week 1 of college football. Is Bill Belichick getting exposed in North Carolina after the beatdown by TCU last night? Is Texas overrated? Is Alabama overrated? Is the era of the SEC dominance over? We will answer all those questions and more today on the September 2nd, technically season 9 finale of Brandon's World. As this Thursday, September 4th, 2025, kicks off our 10th season of Brandon's World. Tomorrow, September 3rd, marks the 7-year anniversary of this podcast. As always, we are in collaboration with Voltage Live. My social media links are in the description below. Tonight, me and Josh Unker, 6 p.m. Eastern Championship rings, also in collaboration with Voltage Live. We will be breaking down all things college football, NFL Week 1, and Josh reveals his potential NFL division realignment. That'll be again all tonight. Championship Rings YouTube channel. The link is in the description below in collaboration with Voltage Live. But let's get to Bill Belichick's debut in North Carolina. You guys remember way back last December when it was announced that Bill was actually going to be taking over as the head coach of UNC? I was absolutely shocked. You guys remember I said it was the story of the year in 2024, and it was right before Christmas. I know college football has changed. I know college sports has changed with the transfer portal and NIL. I know that college is more like the NFL now more than ever. But I said if Nick Saban, who had that obviously wonderful career at Alabama, if he got out of college football, why would Bill Belichick go into college football? And the fact that Bill Belichick has a losing record in the NFL without Tom Brady as quarterback, he may be a defensive mastermind, but he's never been a head coach in college football. It was his college football debut. They have 70 new players, and the hype around North Carolina all offseason hasn't even been about the football team. It hasn't even been about the head coach, Bill Belichick. It has been about Jordan Hudson, the girlfriend of Bill Belichick, who is, of course, about 50 years younger than Belichick. And that's what everybody's talking about. And ex-former Patriots such as Teddy Bruschi, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, etc., even more, have come out and said in the New England days, that would have not been allowed. That Bill Belichick's mantra was always no distractions, do your job. We all know this. And all Belichick has been is a distraction in that North Carolina program. And last night, they looked like what North Carolina typically looks like as a football school, which is they are a basketball school. They've had 2 great quarterbacks in my lifetime that I know of Mitch Trubisky and Drake May. Obviously, Mitch Trubisky's a backup in the NFL. I like Drake May. I think he's going to have a good year with Mike Vrabel in New England. But that's about it for North Carolina football. They are really a basketball school, and Belichick brought more spotlight to the football program than ever before. But when you add 70 new players and you go up against a TCU team that experienced a very similar situation like this, right? 2023, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, Colorado's first game with Deion there, coming over from the HCBU in Jackson State. Uh, you know, TCU said it all week. They were prepared for it. You could tell they were ready to beat down North Carolina. North Carolina, they went down the field opening drive. They ran the football down TCU's throat. The quarterback Lopez made a really good throw about 30 yards down the field. Opening drive touchdown. That place was going crazy. And then from there, they got outscored 41-7 from that point. And TCU ran the football down North Carolina's throat. They got a lot of pressure, specifically in pass rush situations. The quarterback Lopez looked lost. Now, the other quarterback came in, I think the last name's Johnson, which Ironically enough, Bill Belichick's both quarterbacks on that team is left-handed, and he never had a left-handed starter throughout his head coaching career in New England or Cleveland. So, again, tell me what's going on here. But North Carolina looked like a team that was outmatched, and they looked like a team who could beat Rice. They could beat my Kent State Golden Flashes. They could beat lower level Division One. But when you go up against anybody from the Big 12 or, dare I say even ACC, imagine what Clemson is going to look like. I believe that game is around Halloween in the middle of October. I know this North Carolina team is obviously going to get better during the season, but again, I'm trying not to overact to week one. But Bill, in my opinion, this was God's way of saying stop dating a 25 something year old. Now, I will say that when Belichick got hired in North Carolina, I said it was not going to work. I thought it was a handshake agreement with North Carolina that he was only going to be there a year or two. And then Steve Belichick, who is obviously the current defensive coordinator, and he did coach at Washington last year. So Steve does have, experience in college, not with Belichick. And they did get a lot of recruits. Obviously, guys want to be coached by Bill Belichick. Steve Belichick brought some guys over from Washington that he coached last year. And I said I would imagine Bill was sitting there watching the film with him every single week. But I think that because Belichick only has like a $1 million buyout or whatever it was reported, obviously at the time, we all thought, Belichick in June could jump ship to the NFL. And obviously that did not happen. I still think Belichick is regretful by the NFL. They're kind of phasing him out, right? Obviously, he's not fitting the collaborative approach the NFL is now. With the likes of Sean McVay and Nick Sirianni and Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell and Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, even, this sort of nice guys, not the ruthless, toughless guy, the do your job, the never speak to the media, the condescending my way or the highway authoritarian regime now in the NFL is not working. And, Robert Kraft basically told the Falcons do not hire Bill Belichick. So I think Bill was still mad at the NFL. I think he went to college out of spite because I don't think Bill Belichick really liked TV and media the way Nick Saban liked TV and media. Bill Belichick to me is a football coach at heart. He will probably never retire. Bill Belichick will be a football coach until he takes his last breath on earth. But I always thought this was Bill's way to get back in the NFL. Again, we'll see. Is there the possibility of, hey, listen, the Browns are an absolute disaster this year, and the Browns come calling, Belichick, come home, come save us. We'll give you the keys to the car. We'll fire Andrew Berry. We'll fire Kevin Stefanski. You can have Arch Manning. You can coach a Manning. We know Bill has tremendous respect for Eli and Peyton. Jimmy Aslam turns the keys over and says, Bill, this is your franchise again. Welcome back to Cleveland. That's a scenario. Belichick was so desperate he talked to the Jets. Um, we all know how Bill Belichick feels about the Jets, and I'll leave it at that. Listen, I'm not going to overreact to North Carolina here. Like I said, I think a successful season for them would be 500, 6-6. I think a really successful season for them would be, 8, 9 wins, a bowl game of sort. I think what would be a disaster for them would be 2, 3 wins. And what it looks like last night, which is TCU essentially blowing the doors off of them. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.